at you live from my home studio in beautiful La Puente, California. This is the All Dodgers podcast. And we're going to hit that MFN air horn. We're going to turn it up a little bit because it's a party, guys. The Dodgers are 2 wins away from a World Series berth. And yeah, I know some people are going to have some problems with that title, but that's just a reality. You win 2 more games, you go to the World Series. So on today's show, we're reacting to Game 3 of this Dodgers win. Dodgers down them Mets. 8-0. How did Walker Buehler do? We're talking Buehler. We're talking Shohei. We're talking everything about this game, including what you guys want to talk about. Sound off in the comments. We want to talk about what you want to talk about and fire up that voicemail hotline. You're going to see the number popping up down there in a second. You see there at the kids table, my guy, producer Kevin Skinner in the chat. You have to feel good about this game. Before I throw to Kevin real quick, I want to thank people. We did hit the 7,500 subscriber mark since the last stream, so you guys are awesome. Literally, like could not do it without you because we can't. I mean, we can make 7,500 accounts and it becomes a whole thing. But appreciate you guys. We got a lot to dive into, man. I'm Clint. I should point that out. I feel good about this ball game, man. Kevin, give me some thoughts about this one. 8-0, another shutout for the Dodgers.
It was gotta love when you can get cruise control postseason wins. They don't come; they're hard to come by. You think about the regular season and you get these nail biter wins, and in the postseason, it's even more. All the emotions. Everything, like I'm a nervous wreck. So to get a game where get the lead early, hold the lead, tack on, which this team sometimes struggles to do.
Yep.
I mean, you don't even have to use Evan. There's so many good things.
Walker
Buehler
things.
Looked fantastic,
Yeah.
but it was nice to get a good, easy win. Really, outside of like 2 innings, one by Brazier, one by Buehler, not a ton of stress. So love that.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing. Early on, when they were up just 2-0. I said it in the Discord chat. I was like, have you guys felt more uncomfortable about a 2-0 lead? Mainly because there was a lot of, if we're going to poke holes in this game, they left a lot of ducks on the pond. There was a lot of scoring opportunities early in this game. Thankfully, Buehler shoved. Yeah, it was only 4 innings, but he did his job. There's some controversy there. We'll get more into that in just a second. But, Dave, once again, pulls the right levers. I see, we're talking chat right now. Trevor Ellis says, no Muncy hate in the chat tonight. Weird. Listen, Max Muncy, he did something special. 2 hits, 3 walks tonight. I saw one of the first comments on the chat as well, talking about the lineup change. Go Lucky Spoon 188, talking about the change in the lineup, moving Will down a little bit, which means Max up a little bit. That I don't know if it proved to be a difference maker, but it helped the Dodgers win this ball game. And hey, Will gets 2 hits in this ball game as well. So once again, Dave pulling the right strings, moving the right levers. The players got to go out there and they got to perform on the field. But Dave keeps this team on the straight and narrow. And again, 2 wins away. You just got to win 2 more ball games. You have, 4 opportunities to win 2 ball games. You're in a really, really good spot there. If you've seen any chats, fire up. You fire them off as well. I see Jose Ayala in the chat says, let's go. Alex Renteria said still rested. Bonda, Hudson, like you said, Evan Phillips. Bonda did get up there in that the bottom of the 4th inning. Did not need to go to him, but you got Trinan in the game early-ish. You got Kopech in the game early-ish, but everything you needed to happen in this game happened.
Yep. Ravens Moreland with a $2 super chat. Other than Kopech, no high leverage arms used. Kopech and Trinan both got used. Somebody said, I can't remember. Oh, IC says, tell Kevin to put up a background so you don't see what's for dinner. You can't see what's for dinner, but you can see what was for dessert. My fiance made brownies, and you will get the background you get, and you will like it.
On my way for brownies. It's a beautiful Chicagoland area. Carnivorous activity in the chat saying Muncy hot, Teo not. Hey, that's baseball for you, baby. Somebody's gonna have a big game, somebody's not. As long as there's more dudes, having big games together than all of them having bad games together, you're gonna have this. You're gonna have a postseason like this, and a whole lot less like what we saw last year against the Diamondbacks. So I love it. Yep. Speeder built in there, another shutout. A lot of shutouts from these boys. Pitching going.
The bullpen is just unbelievable. Dave's also Dave's usage of the bullpen when he uses them. Not afraid to go to Kopech. What was it in the 5th inning there after Walker Buehler gets 4 shutout? Great call. I mean, you just keep the game close. You know, it's high leverage. 5th inning it doesn't matter what inning it is. 2-run game, top of the lineup. That's high leverage at that point. So I love using Kopech there. Just making sure you keep the other team down. Don't let them get any momentum whatsoever. I think that's just kind of been a through line through not only this series, but the NLDS. And it's really been working out. The Mets have not been able to get up to breathe in those situations. And it gives the offense time to tack on some runs, which
What did my Dodgers territory co-host Alana Rizzo? She said about a week ago. You know, shove that hose down their throat. Don't let them breathe. Don't let them come up for air. And that's what this team does. I think the thing I appreciate the most is the fact that they are scoring in multiple innings. You got to keep that going. You got to keep that momentum going with this team. Got to pause for a couple seconds. I see a lot of friends in the chat here. Alexander Rose in the chat. Our friend Diane Schroeder in the chat. Goat Yachty in the chat. What's going on? Diane wants to make sure you guys hit that subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up if you like your boys in blue. Give this video a thumbs up if you want these Dodgers to go out there and win that World Series. But I do also got to tell you about Bet Online. It's the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything sports betting. Every stat, every matchup. There's breakdowns in there. There's even live odds and spreads you can bet on during the games if you're able to do that in your area. They have the largest catalog of odds and everything from baseball, football, of course, our MLB playoffs, NHL just got going, NBA, political props are out there, if you're into that sort of thing. So check that out. If the game is over, they got an online casino where they got blackjack. There's poker there. There's a whole bunch of slot games, over 150 slot games available. Head to the website today. Get in on the action. Bet online. The game starts here, and the show continues now. Guys, share the show if you would not mind. Would love to get the word out there. Again, we just hit the 7,500 subscriber mark. Let's keep it going. Speeder built in there with a nice comment. Says, happy birthday. Not yet. It is my birthday tomorrow, though, and don't worry, your boy's going to be here with all you guys, so I hope you guys are ready to party.
Yep, it'll be fun. It'll be a good show. Hopefully we're celebrating another Dodgers victory. So where do you want to go with this? What should we start with?
Let's restart. High-level recap here, guys. Everybody jumping in. We'll say it again. The Dodgers take Game 3 in New York, find themselves 2 wins away from a World Series berth. So we got to figure out what do we like in that game, what needs to improve. One thing you like, we already said it. They kept scoring. You're putting runs up on the board, inning after inning, and that goes such a long way for the morale of this team, for the tenacity of the bullpen as well, to know that they don't need to go in there and be so fine. They can just throw some shit up there, and hopefully they can get some ground outs. Hopefully they can get some easy strikeouts and have the other team chasing. That just goes such a long way. But man, talk about a series with some runs. You got a 9-0 shutout, a 7-3 victory for the Mets, and then 8-0 tonight. There's a lot of runs going up in this game, or in this series.
A lot of super chats. We got 199 from Richard Flores. Says Rally Kitchen. Countertops looking cluttered. Yeah,
I'm in.
Gotta clean those up
I'll do a
little
show
bit.
for that.
And then Bob Nightingale 499 says OMG. LFGLA. Can't agree more, boobs. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'll get something.
Oh, that one hit a little hard. I better do another one. A little quarter Shotsky. He disappeared on us. Jenny Vega.
I'm right here. I'm grabbing something.
Jenny's in the chat. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. That one burned real good. Francisco Verhan says real ones born in October. That's right, your boy.
Right,
Libra, baby. That's what we're talking about. But it's funny. I talk about we look at this. It's an 8-0 game, but early on, it's kind of a little bit of a not quite a pitcher's duel, but kind of a pitcher's duel. Buehler, just 4 innings, 0 runs, 6 Ks there, gives you what you need. Well, what I'll say with this one, Walker didn't last a long time, but I had a good time there. 4 scoreless from Buehler is exactly what the Dodgers needed in this series as it moved to New York.
Yep.
Big Dick Buehler stepping up right there. He looked good. He could have gone in there. That second inning, it looked like the wheels could have fallen off again a little bit, but he had I'm calling it, a fuck you, Jobu, I'll do it myself moment. Striking out Lindor, striking out before him, Alvarez. Then, early on had the curveball going, but the controversial moment there happening after the fourth. He's at 90 pitches. Probably his best stuff all season long. He had the swing and miss going. He had 5 Ks in there. But with Lindor and the top of the lineup up, Dave pulls that lever to go to Kopech. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Do you like it, of course, in hindsight?
Oh, I mean, so quick, Jose Ayala, $2 is a confidence builder for Buehler. Let's go. I'm just going to piggyback right off that. I loved every bit of it. I remember, I forget what, this was like years ago. Dave gave a clip. I think it was after Pepio's start, where Pepio could have gone more. He was like at 80 pitches through like 5 innings. And he said that sometimes it's just about getting off the mound on a positive note.
Yep.
And that's what they did with Buehler. He had his best stuff. He didn't get much help from his defense. Tommy Edman juggles a ball. It gets called a hit. Probably shouldn't have been. Mookie Betts can't come up with a tough play in the outfield. Another dribbler down the third base line that I can't remember the guy's name. The left-handed batter gets on. Again, it's just, you know.
Nimmo? Was it Nimmo?
Yeah, it was
Nimmo with that little chop. Yeah.
Yeah, the little chop. It was Nimmo. And again, Buehler just gets out of it by bearing down, not giving up, strikes out Lindor, a tough hitter to strike out. We know how prolific he is from both sides of the plate. And what I love is just the energy he had coming off the mound. Not that it's just the big FU, but also the swing the effing bat JD or swing the bat JD, calling out his former teammate a little bit. That's when you know he's feeling himself a little more, is not when he's just screaming at his own players. It's when he's chirping at the other team a little bit. So he clearly had it today. I think it was like 15 whiffs and 6 Ks. Yeah. That's a lot in 4 innings worth of work. If he gets a little bit of help from the defense, maybe they let him go 5, but at 90 pitches against the top of the order and just with only a 2-run lead, I love Dave, again, managing with urgency. Get Kopech out there, shut these guys down. You've rested your bullpen for this purpose. I think if Dave had let Buehler go against the top of the order, even if it went well, you kind of start scratching your head and going, okay, then what did you rest your bullpen for? Why didn't, we had this bullpen game, but really didn't use any of the bullpen. So it looks like he at least stuck with the plan, even if the plan, as the Joker would say, was horrifying. Again,
I like what you said, a minute ago about get him out of there with a good feeling, and you have to feel good after 4 scoreless. I think he I had the numbers somewhere, limited him to just 3 hits or something like that, 2 punchies. 2 walks, had the punch going, had the swing and miss. Best start by numbers, by look, by feel, by, that Walker Buehler, DGAF. It was his best start of 2024 by far, and he keeps getting better through this postseason, rewarding people. You weren't fully off of Walker. You weren't fully on Walker. I would say you were mostly more on Walker, always sporting that 21 jersey when you needed to, as I know, wearing it now. But this rewards somebody like me, in my opinion. Let's make this about me for a second. Let's make this win about me.
The next 24 hours are basically about you.
Just that? Party at my house Friday night, guys. Nobody's invited. If we're looking at this and looking at how much I wanted Buehler to succeed throughout the course of the season, the first 8 starts, I said I needed to see 8 starts out of Walker before I could really, really solidify an opinion. He got those 8 starts. They were bad. They were very bad. He went on sabbatical. He went to some other random complex just to kind of change his brain, get away from it, because he had been grinding a lot with the same pitching coaches, the same everything with the Dodgers. So anything, we don't know if that ultimately resulted in this version of Walker Buehler, but he rewarded us. He rewarded this team for sticking with him. By the end of the season, though, they didn't have very many, people to turn to. I had to be reminded of the existence of Bobby Miller in our Discord, by the way. I was like, how wild is it that somebody who started game 2 for this team a year ago, just a complete non-factor for this team. And thank God for Walker Buehler. He's pitching for a lot for himself as well. Not only is he pitching to reward his team for the faith that they gave, him this year and the opportunities they kept giving him, even though he didn't deserve them, after a certain point. The numbers are saying, hey, this guy's bad. Maybe you find a way to move off of him. But, injuries keep happening. He keeps getting those opportunities. And now we're at this point where he's pitching for his team. He's trying to get that dub. And also in the back of your mind, you got to be thinking about that free agency. Is he coming back here? Is another team going to go offer him a truck full of money? Looking at the past numbers and looking at this postseason, he's pitching for a lot, and he's doing great. And I'll piggyback Diane. Thank God for Walker Buehler, because this team very much would be in a bad position if it wasn't for Butane right now. If we saw him in the NLDS, wasn't the best of starts, especially by the numbers, but that's where everything sort of clicked. When he got angry, when that water cooler, hit the ground, I think a lot of things changed for the Dodgers.
I think so too. He got a little bit of his moxie back. I mean, not to dance on Bobby Miller's grave too much here, but I think for as impactful as Bobby Miller being bad and injured this year was, the same could be said for how impactful it's been that Walker Buehler has had at least a short-term resurgence, in the last, at least this postseason and, 2 of the 3 starts prior to the postseason. I'm thinking mostly about that Atlanta game, but he has been really good. And every start he makes like this, he's earning himself a little bit more money, maybe another year on potentially a contract. I don't know if he rewards the Dodgers' faith in him. We could talk all that offseason stuff in the offseason. Yeah, we got to get 6 more wins before we get there. But I truly think he's finding himself again. And I think what he's finding and liking is he's realizing he can be a different pitcher, but still be him. He's challenging dudes with that sinker.
Yeah.
He leaves that sinker just up a little bit, but it's got enough break where guys are just swinging over the top of it. And then especially when he can land that knuckle curve, and people have to respect that.
That's the key.
That 4-seam fastball, which doesn't have nearly as much life on it as it used to, plays up. Because now you've got to respect a knuckle curve, but you also have to be geared up because he still has velocity. He's still got 95 in the tank.
Even if he can't always dot it, he's pitching off of that curve, and the 2-seam, the sinker, was never really a big part of his arsenal. He didn't need it to be, but now that he's starting to find that feel, he's starting to find how to get that thing to come back. It's something. Jenny Vegas says Buehler means business. What else? I see. My guy Zed said the last several starts he's been good. Defense behind him hasn't been good is the thing for sure. Defense. Also, Tommy Edman he did boot one. It looked like the oh no, here we go again situation there in the second inning. But like I said, he has that F you Jobu, I'm going to do it myself, and he did it. Young Yi says Buehler could very well be the game 1 starter in the World Series. Hey, we're 2 wins away, but we'll get there when we get there. It is lining up that way, though.
It is, and it's not. I don't know. Like, I at this stage have more confidence in Walker Buehler than I do Jack Flaherty, just because. Not because of Flaherty's past performance, because he was great in Game 1, obviously, but because he just has that knack for the big moment. It's just like how we all have confidence in Kiké, maybe more than like Will Smith right now or Mookie Betts, because Kiké, just for whatever reason, calendar turns to October and these guys just turn it on. And I think this is just massive for his confidence, because he knows Walker Buehler is still in there. So I have complete confidence in him moving forward.
I have one last thing I want to say on Walker, because my buddy just texted me right now. I said, fucking Walker Big Dick Buehler is the text, and I appreciate that. Him and I had a conversation before the postseason, and he was talking about, this the bullpen, I don't know, and the starting pitching is ass, and fucking Walker Buehler's been shit all year. And I'm like, look, let me tell you something about Walker Buehler. Let me spit here for a little bit. Like, when you get this dude on the biggest stages in the most important moments for the season, for this team, most important moments of the season, he's going to be there for you. And so far, My guy is there. Again, Walker didn't last long, but I had a good time. We're not here for a long time. We're here for a good time when it comes to Walker Buehler these days. But, hey, there was more than just pitching in this game, ladies and gentlemen. We got to talk about postseason Kiké returning. We got to talk about Shohei Ohtani doing the one thing apparently he knows how to do in the postseason. That's just hitting with runners in scoring position. Let's focus on Shohei for a second because I think there's a lot of conversation there. Because literally the second a runner got into scoring position today, Shohei lowers the boom. And, it was every bit of a no-doubter. But I wonder, at this point, I wonder if the Dodgers really do need to consider moving him down. I understand you don't change a lot in the lineup. They made some changes here, but, the numbers are telling you one thing. Second a runner gets on second base, he does some damage. If there's nobody there, he no good. He's a very bad baseball player right now in the postseason. So he's going to get more of those opportunities with runners in scoring position if he's down in that 4, 5, 6. I'll answer my own question for a second here by saying, I think it's very, very stupid. But I love the idea of having conversations and don't think that this team hasn't had the conversation already yet.
No, they've kicked that idea around, definitely. Dave, in years past, that's what Dave loved to do. He loved just running out different lineups based on handedness of pitcher, and he loves riding the hot hand. We all know this. I don't think you touch Shohei Ohtani no matter what. I firmly believe you just want your best hitter to get as many at-bats as possible. And I don't, as great as Kiké is in big spots, I would still trust Shohei Ohtani more than I would trust Kiké Hernandez, a Teoscar, even Mookie at this point. So his ability to change the game with one swing. He can do damage on the base paths when he needs to.
Yep.
There's too much. He can do too much to not give him every opportunity on the base paths. It's a small sample size. It's getting increasingly larger, of course, but it's going to level out. Maybe tomorrow he hits a leadoff single or whatever, and this, all kind of evaporates. But it is pretty fun. It was pretty funny that the one opportunity he had with the runners on base today, he sent the ball 400 feet.
He could not have done more damage to that baseball if he tried. By the way, I think I said it earlier. I will say it again. We are going to have voicemails in today's show, guys. Fire onto that voicemail hotline if you have not already. 562-373-4095. Interested in knowing how people feel after this game, not just us talking. I want your guys' thoughts. I already see a few calls lined up. We will get to those in a little bit, but more on this game, more on Shohei. Shohei,
I will say,
go ahead.
No, so because the sailed loner makes a good point. Keeping Ohtani at leadoff encourages 7, 8, 9 hitters to get those base hits, sure, to get on base. I will say Mookie Betts is also one of the best hitters in baseball with runners in scoring position or just on base in general. So I don't think you can necessarily do wrong with either of them, but Shohei Ohtani, man, I don't think you can move him.
Absolutely not. Roach said he just texted Dave. It's important. And Dave said, they've talked about it. So insider information there. Totally legit information from our guy Roach. Speederbuilt says it's working. Don't fix it. I gotta agree with that. $4.99 super chat from Grayson. Thank you, Grayson. Says Dodgers have 4 shutouts this postseason. Imagine if they had Glasnow and Miller at full strength. Imagine if you had Gavin Stone as well. Stone. Don't sleep on Stone and his importance that for this team this year. What they're doing, man. Pitching wise, as scared as we were starting pitching wise heading into this postseason, I have very few doubts now. Very few doubts.
Yeah, I think Yamamoto did a lot to also quiet, his doubters, shutting down a good Padres lineup. And it's kind of funny, Grayson points out, what if we had Glasnow and Miller? I don't know. I'm kind of loving these bullpen games when they actually do a real bullpen game and not just a
maybe that did bring them a little bit closer together, huh? I can see that, man.
And not just a pseudo, another term for a Landon Knack start. I think if they went a true bullpen game and not just Landon Knack, I think the Dodgers probably at least win that game or at least keep it pretty close.
A little bit closer, yeah.
So I mean, obviously more pitching's better. You can never have enough pitching, of course. Yeah. But I've liked what I've seen, and I've liked in terms of a next man up mentality.
Yeah.
the next man has stepped up outside of a Landon Mack, unfortunately.
I mean, you should like what you've seen out of this pitching staff because, as one of the comments just said a second ago, 4 shutouts. You're going to feel good about this pitching staff. And that is one of the things. There is something about, we entered this postseason. I said this is the postseason of aura and all of that. I think there is something special to this team in the way they do fight for each other. They've had enough adversity, whether it be with all the injuries, whether it be with Freddie Freeman and Chelsea Freeman's son Max, and there's so many things that went on with this team this year. It brought them together in a special way, and I love the fact they talked about it in the broadcast. Everybody's favorite broadcaster to hate, play-by-play man to hate in the postseason, Joe Davis. It trips me out, man, that people don't understand what Joe's doing, which is just his job, and making baseball stomachable for people that don't watch baseball all year long. Every team, every play, every player is exciting. You need to make them exciting if you want to draw in new fans, and this is why you're seeing the numbers have been phenomenal so far in this postseason. Shohei Ohtani helps for sure. But I lost my train of thought. But baseball, Dodgers, good. That's it. What was I talking about? It was something else. That was another tangent I wanted to speak to people about.
About how this team's kind of galvanized
the aura
through adversity.
Yeah,
and
Joe was mentioning that. Thank you for getting me back on track. He was mentioning that and how they spent those 5 days off between the end of the regular season and getting into that DS, spending a lot of time with each other. They kicked the wives and girlfriends out. They took their team bus just by themselves down to San Diego. That kind of stuff, as dumb as it is, as bullshit as it seems, as scripted like we saw in the movie Major League or whatever, that shit means something. It really does mean something to a group of dudes that are just trying to go out there and have a good time and hopefully bring home that piece of metal for Robbie Manfred. So it means something, and with the injuries, losing Glasnow, losing Stone, these pitchers at the same time, the guys that are out there, they're pitching for their boys. They're pitching for, hey, at TG, you gave us this much. Stoner, you gave us this much. We're going to pay you back and make sure you get that reward in a ring. Hopefully a ring next season. But I love it, man. All that shit means something until it doesn't, which is when you lose. But right now, it means something.
I would love to know, because they said that Daniel Hudson's kind of the leader of that bullpen. I would love to know what he does as a leader to kind of keep, because you listen to like starting pitchers and bullpen pitchers, and there's a difference between the two, and there's a different, like, not just obviously in their job description, but also in kind of when you're in a bullpen, you're just kind of out in the middle of nowhere with like 7 other guys just hanging out. And so to have a guy like Daniel Hudson keeping everybody together, maybe just entertaining them, or like, what does he do? Because this is one of the best bullpens I've ever seen, especially coming from the Dodgers. And I do think there's that leadership quality that he has, that these guys really are pitching together. They know there isn't, we've heard it a couple times, there's no ego in that bullpen.
It's a great
and,
way.
You've got, like I mentioned earlier, you have a guy like Michael Kopech coming in the 5th and just doing what he does. And he's like, give me the ball in the 5th, give me the 9th, don't care. And I think that speaks to leadership, and that speaks to example that's being set by Huddy. And I'd love to be a fly on that wall in that bullpen just to kind of see, like, why is that? What does he do that makes a group like this, or how does he help them be special? Like this?
I think it's one of those things where he kind of rewarded this team as well, the same way we talked about Trinan, I think, on a show recently, possibly heading into this series. Trinan rewarded this team for the last couple of years of injuries by signing back on a $1 million deal. Hudson also lost the last couple of years, signed here on a minor league deal. That's how hungry he was to keep going and to stay a Dodger and to prove something to this team. I could understand. I can see like that kind of, I don't know if it's a big dick veteran move or whatever. We've had a lot of big dicks here in this episode. Pause. But I could see that, and also he's the old ass in there, so maybe that's another reason they all look up to Daniel Hudson. But whatever it is, it's working. That's the important thing.
Because he's not the most veteran even in the clubhouse, because Phillips has been there longer.
Well, but in terms of age, like he's the old head. He's got 14 years in the league or whatever it is. Like, he's been around. He's put in his time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But I think you can have a leader who's just because necessarily like yeah, he could be a leader just because of his age, but he doesn't even have seniority from, other, like, that team specifically. Like, Phillips has been there longer. I think Vesias has been there longer. And so, like, I'm just curious why Huddy, not because I doubt him or anything bad. It's just, I'm curious as to what he does as a leader, because we hear so much about, like, Mookie leading by example, Shohei leading by example. What makes Hudson different? Because I've just never seen this from a bullpen, and I've never seen this back-to-back super chats. Let's pretty crazy.
Go.
499 from Richard Flores. If we win this thing, we need to award the Padres the MVP for waking our asses up, turning us into total FU assholes, F Dodger haters. We talked about this on the last podcast. You got to give a lot of credit to the Padres for keeping the fire under the Dodgers' ass all season and giving them a tough series, because that adversity galvanizes them.
Yep.
And then if you want to, this is Diane giving you a little birthday present.
Let's go. I pushed the fail button. That was an accident, but thank you guys. Cheers to y'all. I'm about to finish the piggyback here. We need to go. I need to go. I got the booze lined up in the cart. I just need to go pick it up. But much love to Richie Flores. Much love to Diane Schroeder. Guys, hit that like button if you're having a good time. Hit that like button if you like your Dodgers. There's the button. There's the thing I was looking for. Let's get to 8,000 subscribers before the World Series. Can't do it. I mean, you could if people really went off. But what I want to do now, let's fire off that voicemail hotline, because we do have some thoughts. I see the first thought here from our guy, Calvin the GOAT, here in the chat. I think he's also here in the chat. But we got a voicemail. And you guys still got time. You see the number there. We're firing off some voicemails. I want to know what people think about this game and about this team up to this point heading into Game 4.
Hey, Clint. It's Calvin here, username Calvin the GOAT. And we just absolutely beat the fuck out of the Mets. That was really nice to see. Nice bounce back game after the weird bullpen-ish game using Landon Knack. Whatever. All I know is we can never see him again anywhere even close to leverage. We are only going to be using him when we're winning games like this tomorrow, hopefully. I'm feeling really good about us winning the whole thing. Got Yama and Jack coming up. I feel like Yama is going to give us 7 scoreless tomorrow and lead us to a victory. And I'm really fucking excited, because I really think this is going to be the year that we finally get over this hump. Also, Kiké Hernandez versus Max Muncy for NLCS MVP. Who would have thought? Have a good one, Clint.
Hey, we appreciate our guy, Calvin, calling in. Let's focus there for a second. The reason, I know a lot of folks had some issues. Let me go to the screen instead. People had some issues with the bullpen game, especially because it didn't work. But this is why you went to that bullpen game for Game 2 in LA. The kind of weird, getaway day in a postseason on a Monday. All of it was just set up for failure, along with that 9-0 just destruction of the Mets. They had all the fuel going into that game, in my opinion, and we saw it play out that way. But this is why you go to it then, because then you can line up Buehler, Yamamoto, Flaherty in New York. And if you go back to LA, you got a bullpen game in the nighttime where you can set things up a lot better and actually use your leverage guys as opposed to a Knack or Kasparius or whatever. So,
hey, don't speak poorly on my man Benny Caps. Oh my God, he has been awesome.
I love that kid, to be honest.
He's got fuel. I love it.
And he's doing his job very well. Picked up 2 innings tonight, saved that bullpen. Shout out just for fun again from Game 2. Brent Honeywell, turtleneck and chain, going off, doing something important, picking up 3 innings. Again, these dudes, they're pitching for each other, man. They're 100% pitching for each other. But appreciate Calvin calling in. Let's go to the next voicemail from our guy, Noah. As you know, let's hear from Noah.
Well, what up, guys? It's Noah, as you know. And at the time of this voice message, it is at the bottom of the 8th. And dang, that Ohtani homer is amazing. He ain't human. He's a superhuman. And we still have him for 9 years, by the way. And he's not even pitching. We are freaking lucky to see Ohtani every single day, 162 times, excluding the postseason, a year. So, if you're having a bad day, just remember, we have Ohtani, and nobody else does. Okay? And the Dodgers are going to win the World Series. And that's all I have to say, guys. And by the way, make sure to subscribe to Patreon and the YouTube channel. Press the like button. And definitely join us in Discord, guys. Goodbye.
My guy Noah, look at that.
Put in the word.
Promotions from Noah. Yeah, I guess we haven't done it yet, guys. Sign up if you're looking for a different way. One different way to support the channel, support independent Dodgers coverage. We do have a Patreon set up. We do have YouTube members set up. It's $5 a month, and if you pay that, you get access to our Discord server where we're talking Dodger baseball all through the game, a lot of the time all through the day. A whole bunch of like-minded baseball fans, as my boy D-Mac likes to say, nothing brings us together like Dodger baseball, and we actually have a very good community in there talking Dodger baseball. I'm in there. Kevin pops in there as well. So, check it out. Again, $5 a month. There is a paywall, but the good thing about it is you're helping support this show. We just had to buy Kevin a light so he doesn't look as bad in the kitchen. So that's the type of stuff you guys are doing. Make this show better by supporting the show. And if you can't do that, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. That goes, it's completely free, and that goes a very, very long way in helping support the show. You got any comments before you want to get into before we jump back into voicemails?
No. Create Your Destiny mentions Mookie's not doing so great. He's actually had a pretty good game today. He went 1 for 4. He had a walk, I think.
Had a walk, yeah.
Yeah, he's fine. He was going to be 2 for 4 if not for not Gold Glove nominee Francisco Lindor. Out there at shortstop.
We won. It was a good game. Wasn't going to bring it up, but. Man, Mookie looked so slow on that play, man. Like, that was the slowest developing. To be fair, he hit the shit out of it. So Francisco had a lot of opportunity to turn that play, but it looked like it was just very slow. I mean, when I say slow, right now his Mookie's sprint speed measured this year at 26. Where'd it go? I had it 26.7 this year. As recently as 2020, it was 28.3. So he has slowed down pretty significantly. That said, you win, so who cares? We don't need to bring it up. But Mookie just looking a whole lot slower, man. Felt like I could have beat that one up.
Thankfully, speed hasn't been a part of his game for the last few years. I'm not too worried about it. I think part of it too is like Lindor. Again, I can't believe he didn't get a Gold Glove nominee. But I mean, he had, like you said, the ball got up on him quick. Lindor's got an arm, so I
got
think
2 actually.
It would have taken. Yeah, he has 2. Wow, crazy.
Sorry.
Did you know that the average number of arms in the world is less than 2? Anyway.
Dang.
It would have taken somebody like a Tommy Edman, I think, or a Shohei to get down the line, because that was a heck of a throw. It was just good, top to bottom. So, and maybe Mookie didn't think getting out of the box he needed to get down the line as quickly. Maybe he pulled a not Johnny Hustle. Who knows? We'll never know. Thankfully, it didn't matter.
I think this is more so. He's not as fast of a boy as he used to be. That's really the Bob Nightingale says Mookie slower than Pedro Baez between pitches. Damn.
Their human rain delay
going off on that one. I say our friend Swollen Sausage in the chat. What's going on, Swollen Sausage? Jenny Vegas says, guys, hit the like button for Clint. Hit the like button for all of us.
Let's go. We got over 100 likes today. Let's
go, baby. Keep it going. Keep it going. Jason YouTube account. His birthday was on the 8th, so belated happy birthday to you, my friend. It is Libra season for us. I think they also just had a birthday that passed along with Teoscar Hernandez. So happy birthday to you guys. Appreciate you. Here rocking with us on another edition of All Dodgers Live, and we got another call in here. I think first time caller. Let's listen to what looks like Irvin.
Hey Clint and team, my name's Irvin. I'm from LA and live in San Francisco. It's gonna be a good game. I promise not to watch any games. Every time that I have not seen a game, we have won. But I've been listening to the games on the radio, and we've gotten the W. So for the remainder of the series, and when we go to the World Series, I promise not to watch the game, but to listen to them on the radio, so that we can get the dub. Anyway, fan of the show. You're doing an awesome job, and that's what Dodgers.
Hey, Irvin, we appreciate you calling in. We have that thing. I know Alana tweeted it as well after game one. It's like whatever you did in game one or whatever you did in last night's game, you got to do it again tomorrow, guys. I think if you believe in superstitions, which I very much do on occasions, like there are times I have a whole bunch of hats up right here above this side in that side of the wall, and when they're playing well, I make sure the hats are all in the same exact spots. This hat goes right on this mic after a show. You keep doing the same thing. I am wearing different shoes tonight though, so I'm gonna have to keep these shoes on. I guess I'm
going to switch to – I only wear this if
and Buehler starts.
Walker's pitching. Yeah, so tomorrow I'll switch to the Mookie jersey, but I'll still have a jersey on. So, but, yeah.
We got another voicemail here. Great voicemail. It says it's 9 seconds, and I think it's going to be short and sweet and just what we needed.
Hey, Clint, this is Ramley Ties. I have one word. Butane.
Let's go. Appreciate Randy calling in. Walker, I'm going to say it again. Walker effing Buehler, man. We've already talked a whole bunch of Walker. We do have one more voicemail on there, at least right now. People want to call in. We'll take a few more before we get out of here, or at least before we start talking about tomorrow's game, because you got to win tomorrow's game to be, one game away from the World Series. But again, Walker Buehler rewarding this team, rewarding this fan base for trusting him, for believing in him, and knowing that at some point we would get the Walker of old back. And what I saw tonight was as close to the Walker of old as we've seen since maybe, honestly, 21. He hasn't. Yeah. I mean, 22 had kind of his good moments, but it was a bit of a struggle. It was a bit of a struggle.
So
21 Walker
I will say if this series does need to go 7, that would line up Walker Buehler to pitch
game 7
on regular rest on 4 days rest, so it'd be the 5th day. So we could, if necessary, get the biggest game butane. So I could live with that.
Listen, man,
I can get behind that.
I would love to see a Walker Buehler game 7, but also please don't let the series get to game 7.
Yeah, right. I'd rather see him game 1 of the World Series.
End it on Friday. That would be very, very nice. And then you fly home, you just party the whole time, and you have a few days to rest, which we know Freddie Freeman needs pretty freaking desperately. And honestly, your boy can use a little bit of a rest. We're grinding right now. It is grind season. Programming notes as well. We're not done here yet, but programming notes tomorrow afternoon, 12 o'clock Pacific time. Myself, Alana Rizzo, Dodgers Territory Live. We will be back. Fresh episode. Might have a guest, might not. Not really, not sure yet. So it's not Randy, by the way, who called in. It's Ramley Ties, but it sounded like Randy, and that's what the transcription said. But it's Ramley Ties. Give another clap there.
And he's in their hair in the chat. Thank you for the
appreciate you hanging out. Gary A says he's propane Walker now. It's not butane anymore. Now we're cooking with gas.
He's not Hank Hill.
I tell you what. Roach says tell Alana I said what's up. Tell her yourself. Watch the show tomorrow, noon o'clock Pacific time. Ooh. And then tomorrow there will be a post-game show. Yes, I'm post-gaming on my birthday, whether it's just here or here and DT or just DT. I don't know. I think I want to be here with you, gang, with you people. So we'll figure it out. I got to tell them it's my birthday. I don't want to see you people. But it would be nice to have a birthday party on Friday. It'd be real nice to celebrate and not have to worry about working on Sunday. But Sunday, we're also supposed to have a thing, a whole meet. Anyways, we'll move on from that. We're here. We got to hear one more voicemail from our guy, Richie, and then we'll have a few more thoughts, look ahead, and then we'll get the hell out of here. But let's hear what Richie has to say about this one.
Well, hey, Clint. Happy Wednesday to you. Ferris fucking Bueller. He spelled Bueller, G-U-T-S. He showed me a lot tonight, and even though he threw 100 pitches in 4 innings, but we'll take it because that's what it takes to win in the postseason. He got that huge ground out double play ball. Got that huge strikeout with the bases loaded, and just watching him strut off that mound and pumping his fists in the air and yelling F-bombs for the whole world to see. That's the butane that I know and love. And then we had Ohtani. He finally hit a bomb to finally put the final nail in the coffin. And Kiké got that big, huge home run to make it 4-0 at the time. Now, if we can only get Will Smith to go, right now the Will Smith is kind of a zero for us right now, even though he got a base hit. But in order for us to win, we got to get Will Smith going. We got to get Teoscar going. We got to get Mookie going, and we need to see more of Shohei going. And by the way, can we talk about John Smoltz? Can that guy just shut the hell up? Jessica Mendoza can't believe how much this guy talks. But we did what we needed to do. We took the crowd out of the game early. We shoved it up their ass. And now let's take game 4 tomorrow. If we can take game 4 tomorrow and go up 3-1, my advice to Doc, let's end this shit on Thursday. Let's just take some much-needed day off. And shout out to Freddie. Freddie is just an inspiration, doing what he's doing on one foot. That's showing me a lot. And Freddie's an old-school throwback. So fuck the Dodger Stadium parking lot. Fuck Times Square. Fuck the Big Apple. Fuck the Empire State Building. Fuck the Statue of Liberty. And for the love of God, fuck the Ghost Runner. See ya.
That's an electric voicemail from our guy Richie in Devore. Always appreciate Richard Flores calling in. He's been a phenomenal supporter of this show. And can't say enough about the dude, man. Love that guy. He's a hell of a fan here. He's one of the homies, and a lot of good stuff in there as well. We've got Buehler in there. He's mentioning, Kiké in there, Smoltz, who I got a little run-in with Smoltz as well, where he liked one of the things on Twitter back when he had Twitter way back in the day. I was talking shit about Smoltz and, yada, yada. So I appreciate that. But let's talk about Freddie Freeman for just a second. And I appreciate that Max Muncy today went on Foul Territory. Check it out if you have not yet. But just giving some props to Freddie for the amount of time and effort and work he's putting in to be on the field. And I was worried entering this game, a lot colder in New York. It's really cold in New York right now. I think,
I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
First pitch was about 50 degrees in New York today. That ain't good on a bum ankle, on a bum anything, man. So the fact that he's out there, he's getting it, he's getting after it. He's performing in some way, shape, or form. I mean, even if he didn't, get a big homer in this game, like he got an impressive dig that we don't know of Max Muncy, who's kind of 2 years removed from playing first base. Yeah, he got that big. Well, I guess it was a couple of big digs, but I'm thinking of the one insane one to get that double play in, was it the 3rd inning or something like that? 2nd inning? Whatever inning it was. Maybe it was a little bit later. But
I think it was the 6th inning. It was Brazier pitching.
That's right. It was Brazier. That's right. My bad. My was it? I can't remember. I'm trying to. That was something different. I'm trying to remember something different. My fault. That's what I'm trying to go for. But him, Max Muncy coming into his own in this series. We were talking about. Did we actually talk about it on the show? Or were we talking about it before we went live? Max Muncy. One of the things he said entering this series as well, or after game 1, he got a little long with the swing, and we saw that. I think all of us can see that he was getting very long with the swing, shortened it up, just trying to get back to the ball, and you could see that in that game 1 first inning, 2-run single that 100% Max Muncy a series before would have struck out on. But
yeah.
Some walks, he's earning his walks, 3 walks today, 2 hits, including that. I mean, that ball was pissed on, man. You can get Max, as Teo's in a little slump right now, you keep Max going, get him going. You're going to have a lot of fun. Gavin Luck struggling a little bit. Again, everybody just picks each other up. You're not going to have all 9 going at once. What we have going, it's impressive.
It's impressive. Yeah, and we were talking about it before the show about Muncy, and I was talking about how in the Padres series, the DS, he had in that bat where I think it was Robert Suarez threw him like 3 straight fastballs all above the zone. He swung through every single one of them. And it was really clear the moment got to him a little bit. He was getting a little big in his swing, chasing outside the strike zone, which we know is not his game. He has one of the best eyes in baseball. He makes pitchers come to him. He's selective. A classic Muncy line is like 0 for 3 with 2 walks. That's what he does. Yeah. And then he can also, take a ball all the way halfway up the pavilion, which is what so he had a little bit of both versions of his game today. So I love what I'm seeing from Muncy. And yeah, to your point, sure, Lux is struggling. Will Smith kind of broke out of it a little bit today. But the point of this lineup is that if one of these guys are struggling, even if 3 of these guys are struggling, man, there's too much talent in this lineup
Yeah.
That, not all 9 are going to go cold, just like not all 9 are going to be hot at the same time. So, if Freddie's not feeling it today or Mookie's not feeling it today, you've got Kiké, you've got Tommy Edman, who I feel like we haven't talking about enough. He's been doing great at the plate as well. So you've got guys up and down the lineup that can really hit for each other, just pass the baton along. I thought, I think Shohei took a walk to bring Mookie up. That was pretty big because I think Shohei's been expanding. I think we all know Shohei's been expanding. Just to pass the baton, not try and do too much. I think I'm liking what I'm seeing more from the plate from everybody in this lineup, not necessarily, just Shohei or just Mookie.
And we're seeing it in the scores. 9 runs. You still got 3 runs in game 2, 8 runs tonight. And that's without everybody firing on all cylinders. This is as close as we've seen it. I said this a couple days ago. Closest we've seen it, as we've seen it to everybody firing on all cylinders. But we get to continue trying to fire on all cylinders in Game 4. Let's look ahead. Yoshinobu Yamamoto looks to follow up on his brilliant NLDS Game 5 start. And he goes up against the grizzled veteran Jose Quintana, who has been pitching for a million years for just about every team, it feels like, and those Mets. So what are the keys to Game 4 of the NLCS? Hey, well, for me, number 1, don't let them get in the game early like they did in Game 2. You just embarrass them once again. You showed you are the mighty Dodgers, and they are the lowly Mets trying to, somehow advance as the underdog, the very clear underdog. But they got some dudes. They got some good players. They drive nice cars too. Yama, you got to come out there. You got to shove. Boys got to put up a run. They got to put up a point in the first inning, man. I would love to see something. Maybe Mookie gets on, Freddie driving somebody in, but Yama's got to make a statement here in his another New York start, if you will.
Yeah, I think so. I think, looking at Quintana, things you love, it's similar to the pitcher we saw today. We didn't see Severino today. We saw I didn't watch the game, so I had to remember all the names. Oh, we did see Sevy today?
Yeah.
Okay, it's similar to Severino. Not a big strikeout guy, big ground ball guy.
Man, did he get his ground balls early for sure.
I know. Quintana is 19th percentile in whiff percentage, 18th percentile in strikeout rate. His hard hit rate's in the 53rd percentile. What you don't love, in my opinion, it's blue on StatCast, but it terrifies me, is this is a soft tossing lefty we know soft tossing lefties have given the Dodgers fits in the past. I know Teoscar's been cold. He needs to wake up tomorrow. I need him batting 4th. I want him back in cleanup, and I need him. He has got to put it over the wall. He just needs to put the ball in play. I need a game from him tomorrow because I think he's really the key, because that's what they brought him in for, is hitting soft tossing lefties. So
absolutely.
We need a big game from Teo tomorrow.
You also have to wonder what the plan is in center field. You would assume Kiké Hernandez is going to be starting at second. Do they run Pages back out there, or is this going to be the game where Dave gives CT a start? CT got a hit there in that 9th inning. I think we see Chris Taylor tomorrow because Dave Roberts.
Yeah. Well, not only that, Pages did not look good in his last start. He looked way overmatched. So
the moment was definitely too big for him, for sure, yeah. And we've seen very good things out of Andy Pages. I wanted him on this roster because of his ability to destroy left-handed pitching. But when you look at that loss,
I want him in there tomorrow because I think the only way he's going to get out of a slump is swinging his way out of it. But when like you said, when you look at that loss at the plate, and I don't know. You gotta try something different.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to it right there. JR says CT3 over Pages. I'm not. You held on to Chris Taylor. Besides the fact that if you cut him, you would have owed him somewhere around $25, $30 million or whatever. Well, I guess less than as the season went along. You held on to him for a reason, and you've seen him do big things in the reason. Hey, that's massive to see Diane saying CT3 over Pages, because Diane has had Chris Taylor's bags packed for months for what it's worth. But Roach says Taylor walked. My bad. I missed that part. Kevin and I were talking by that point, so I missed exactly what happened after the Muncy homer, which was just insane. That BC Taylor has no hits. At least Pages has a hit. Somebody's going to buy a hit tomorrow. Maybe the Shamanaya matchup wasn't ideal for Pages. I don't think there's a right answer. I don't think there's a wrong answer here. I think whoever does start in center field is going to do. He's going to do a good job. I feel like they're going to have not a needle moving game, but they're going to do something that either advances a runner, that a productive out is maybe does add a run, maybe it's a homer, whether it's Pages or CT3, and Dave is going to look like he pulled the right lever once again. And I think these boys are honoring Dave this postseason as well with some of their performance, if you will.
I will say one last kind of thought on this is, if really the bat isn't going to play pretty much regardless, like if you're hoping, because we know Chris Taylor can run into one too.
Yeah.
If you're just hoping they run into one, if you're looking for that upside, I'd rather just run out Chris Taylor because he at least plays good center field defense.
It's fair.
And
in New York as well.
Last thing we need is Andy Pages to take a bad route on a Lindor fly ball, and next thing you know, Lindor's on third. You know what I mean? I'd rather get Chris Taylor out there because the floor is good defense, bad plate. Or bad hitting.
That's fair.
I can live with that.
Won't be Kevin Kiermaier. We know that it is against a lefty. BC says Taylor is cooked. Other people are saying, my guy Roach says Juan Pierre over Andy Pages. People turned on Pages pretty quick. We'll find out. We'll find out what the plan is tomorrow. Another 5 o'clock Pacific time game. Yamamoto, Quintana. Yamamoto is going to look to build off of that start against the Padres. And you know what I'm smelling? Smelling like it's a Dodger win tomorrow, guys. I think it's happening.
Birthday. I think
birthday dub? I don't want to be here having a bad time, having sad times with everybody. Let's have a good time. Dodgers, help me out. But that's about it. On the spot, give me a score prediction tomorrow.
3-1 Dodgers.
We got to win. We got a show. We got an actual pitcher's duel. We got a game, not just like a one-sided blowout. I'm in.
Yeah.
I like it.
Come on, we scored 8 runs one game. That means the offense is going to go cold for 7 innings tomorrow, and then they'll wake up in the 8th. That's what always happens. Drives me crazy.
Yeah, we could use one of those games. I would love to have some late stress. Swell and Sausage asking Taylor can't play second anymore. Honestly, you might see CT there and Kiké remaining in center field if Taylor is in the lineup. But we know Lux won't be in the lineup. Hey, you wonder if Freddie's going to be in there as well. I mean, it is cold. He had himself a long game. I think he'll be in there.
Dave will have to restrain that man from not being in the lineup. And Dave already said he doesn't see a game in which Freddie isn't in the lineup. So
let's see if I see anything. No, I'm not seeing anything so far from the beats. There's nothing special. Nothing special came out of postgame. It was a ho-hum, very good win for your Dodgers. Tomorrow, the stage is already set. Yamamoto, Quintana, we're ready to go. So, guys, that's about it for today. We're going to win 3-1 tomorrow, says Kevin, and I like that. I want to win. I want a birthday dub. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. If you appreciate the show, if you like your Dodgers, all that kind of stuff, we'd appreciate it. If you do that, help support the channel by clicking that subscribe. But thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for the comments, the questions, the super chats, the birthday love for me ahead of time. I appreciate you guys a whole bunch. Got to thank our channel members, our Patreon supporters for helping keep the show alive. And well, you don't keep the show alive, but you make it better, in my opinion. You help support the show with your supporting independent coverage on patreon.com or patreon.com/realfrg. I'm going to slow it down here. Or click that join button on YouTube to join on members. If you do that, you can join us on Discord. Keep talking Dodger baseball all day long. Let's do that through the postseason. Hey, we can do that into the into the offseason too, but let's win 6 more games before we get there. Shout out the mods for doing a kick-ass job. Give that man a follow there at the kids table. That is at Skinner7 Kevin on the Twitter X machine. I'm Real FRG on the Twitter X machine. All Dodgers is presented by Bet Online. And that's about it. Go Blue. See you tomorrow. Okay, bye.